and the
Hi, everyone. I think most of you know me by now, but for those of you who don't, my name is Aidan Stevenson. I'm the Director of Growth at Imprimo. I am here with Lisa Zherkovskaya, aka Curator on the Go, our art advisor and fabulously talented gallerist and curator in her own right. And we are here for the grand opening of Your Painted Insight, our very first virtual exhibition. So really want to thank all of you for being a part of this. This features works from Imprimo users and artists who attended our Creative Canvas Academy Art Accelerator over the last few months. You've all done so much to make this such a wonderful experience, and it was such a joy sifting through the work and putting this together with what Lisa picked out, working on this. So I'm really excited to show you all how this has come together. But first of all, I will pass it over to Lisa.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your day. And I feel like everyone is feeling so excited. And I want to thank Imprimo Tim for making this happen. And in general, I just want to say thank you for you guys for participating, for being part of the Imprimo platform. It's been a really fun year for me, and I hope for all of you to be part of the educational sessions we had all together. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you're planning to do and execute those strategies next year and thrive, because you're all different. Your techniques are different. Where you are in your career is you're in different stages, so you can't compare each other or each other's success. But as long as you aim and dream big, that's where you should go. And you might take few steps, you might take lots of steps, but at the end of the day, you just go to your dream and where you want to be as an artist. And I want to mention that Imprimo is such a great platform, because for me, when I work with a lot of artists, there is not a lot of great websites that I see that artists have. And Imprimo does such an amazing job for you to make it super easy for you to present everything professionally and hopefully present this to galleries, collectors, whoever you think of. And exhibition itself, it's such a fun project. Like, I've been doing a lot of virtual exhibitions during the pandemic. And now it's an opportunity for you guys, for everyone who is part of Imprimo, to show your work, potentially sell it to your collectors, again, show it to galleries and say, I'm doing this exhibition. So there is something happening with my work. So it's not just staying in my studio. Whether it's virtually or not, those exhibitions are credits. They're very important for your resume. And again, don't be shy to share and talk about it, because you do have this opportunity going on right now. And I had lots of fun going through the works. I had lots of fun reading more about you, about your stories, and having the previous session where you introduced a little bit your works. So I'm really excited to hear more. And again, I'm proud of everyone who is part of an exhibition and can't wait for the next one. So let's have the fun begin.
Right on. Thanks so much, Lisa. I'm going to share my screen now in the hopes that this will work effectively. And let's see if I can enter full screen without losing everybody. Perfect. So this is Your Painted Insight, the room that we have put together here. You'll all receive a link to this. This is going to be publicly visible. You get to walk through it with arrow keys like it's a video game. So yeah, let me start off. I know some people are on a bit of a schedule, so I'd like to jump in right over here with our friend Daniel Maluka. No pressure. You're first up, Daniel. If you want to say a few words, we have a couple of your pieces on display here.
For sure. For sure. So hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm a writer and self-taught visual artist based in Toronto. I love to tell stories. I view my artwork as another expression of my narrative drive and storytelling. I've been writing since I was young, which helped shape my view that visual art can be another way to share our stories. I work across the mediums of acrylic, watercolor, digital, illustration, and ink. My artwork is mainly surreal and abstract, with limited color palettes with stark contrasts. I love the simplicity of black and white, since the subjects I depict are often complex. The subjects that interest me are an exploration of faces in the human form. My artwork is characterized by clean line work, overlapping images, and repeating elements. I bring forth aspects of the subconscious, and I see my work as bringing a dreamlike element into the waking world. Since what I produce is often multi-layered, I want the viewers to come back with multiple interpretations and to see something new each time. So it's art that keeps on giving. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. And I do want to take a moment to say, at the end of this, I do want to give everyone some space for open discussions. So we're going to go through the exhibition first, but if anybody has any questions for Daniel about his work, please make a note of it. There will be absolutely time to discuss amongst ourselves after everyone's had a chance to share. So I'm going to jump over next in line to our friend Teruna Singh. I'm hoping you are in the room here with us, Teruna.
I am. I hope you can see me. I'm using my phone here to connect with you all. Okay, excellent. So my name is Teruna Singh. I am a mixed media artist based in Oakville, Ontario. I draw inspiration from my multicultural background and global experiences, creating textured art that explore concepts of identity and belonging amidst life's transience. After working as a graphic designer for over 2 decades, the pandemic provided a conduit to reconnect with fine art. My 2 pieces in this show, Airport and Ampersand, were prompted by a collage challenge created by UK-based Contemporary Collage magazine. They printed 100 identical booklets and distributed them throughout the world to artists. And the challenge was to only use pages from the booklet, cutting them up with some paint or dry media to compose something beautiful and meaningful. My tactile creations are an invitation for the viewer to touch and be touched by art. You can follow my creative journey on Instagram at Teruna Singh Art or on my website at terunasinghart.com. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Teruna. This is great. All right. Up next, we have our friend Thomas Michael Brash.
Well, I'm glad I'm everybody's friend. I'm Thomas Brash, a self-taught lens-based artist located in Toronto. I'm continually traveling and taking pictures. I create kaleidoscopic iridescent orbs on a black background. I document events of senseless violence without the use of triggering images. These multi-layered, vibrant mandalas also act as a commemoration for the victims and survivors of the tragedy. Each piece invokes a conversation about the dangers of prejudice, intolerance, and hate. The first goal of this series is to promote healing by transforming a tragedy into a thing of beauty. The second goal is to promote awareness, education, and prevention. Each piece is named after the city, the date, and the site-specific location of the event. The viewer can simply enjoy the aesthetics or explore in detail the historical reference. The creation process is cathartic for me. I'm trying to make sense of the chaos in this world. I'm fortunate enough to have avoided any mass violence. We narrowly avoided it on our trip to Barcelona in 2017 during the van attack on Las Ramblas. Hate, conspiracy theories, and delusional thinking often conclude that violence is the only solution to a problem. It is my hope that this work can generate a paradigm shift in humanity's consciousness. I hope to leave this world and all of our children with better solutions to these problems. Please follow the evolution of this project on my Instagram and on my website, which is listed my name. It's the same name. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Thomas. Moving right on down the line. I have 2 pieces here by Nancy Cole. They are spread across 2 walls, so I'll jump between the 2. Nancy, the floor is yours. Oh, Nancy?
Sorry about that. Am I on?
You are on.
Oh, sorry about that.
No
I'm a,
worries.
I'm a Prince Edward Island artist, and I was trained as a journalist and a photographer. And I switched to embroidery in order to establish a visual narrative. My work has been exhibited in London, Rome, New York City.
Oh, I believe your mic has gone on mute, Nancy.
I keep my fingers off that keyboard. Okay. As well, my thread pieces have been acquired by the Prince Edward Island Art Bank and the Confederation Center Art Gallery. I've benefited from numerous residencies, including the Canadian Forces Artist Program. War is an underlying theme in this series. We have been affected. We have all been affected. The Middle East, Russia, the Ukraine, Sudan, fears from China, Taiwan. And history has proven that there's little chance for change. In 1952, the world was recovering from a devastating world war. Europe was still rebuilding, and the Cold War loomed. And the Vietnam War was soon to begin, and the Korean War was ongoing. And this is my collaboration with the dead. Murray Cole was a career aviator, and as a young lad in 1952, he was posted overseas, and armed with a camera, he set out to document his travels and adventures. These slides were shot during his posting and are thematic. Some are post-war France, others are touring Casablanca and Algeria, while many are snippets of military life on one of Canada's very first NATO bases in Europe. It was a frightening period, but he still found time for drinking, flirting, and playing on Algerian beaches. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nancy. Okay, up next. Up next, we have Randa Hijazi.
Hi everyone. I'm Syrian Canadian artist, painter, living in Laval, Quebec. I was born and raised in Damascus, Syria. Then I moved to Dubai in 2012 before settling in Canada in 2017. I graduated from University of Fine Art in 2000. Then I continued my study at the University of Science of Media, and I graduated in 2008. My experience in both the East and West have influenced how I see things and what I create my art pieces. So I focus on the connection between my strong Eastern background and Western culture. And I'm an artist committed to the causes of people and society, and very interested in the humanitarian issues and the civilization. So the art for me is how I battle against the indifference of a human and trying to offer the new way of viewing the world. I'm working on with acrylic and oil on the huge size. Right now, I'm getting ready for two solo exhibition in 2024. The first one, it will be in Saudi Arabia, and the other in Ottawa, Canada. So if you like to see more about my painting or more information, you can visit my website, the same name, randahijazi.com, or on Imprimo page. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Randa. All right. I have some sculptural works here from Edith Kernerman. And I'd like to offer just a quick comment on the presentation of the sculptures here. I do think the two dimensions don't quite do them justice, so I'd like to connect with you off camera at some point to update these. But in the meantime, I'm going to take us over to Edith's Imprimo page so you can see some more dimensional shots of her work.
Thanks, Aiden. All right, so hello, everyone. I want you to think a little bit about imagining the past. What if you could recreate it? What if you could remember every single detail of any event that ever happened? And what if you could remember it with such clarity that you knew you were still you of the past was right now? Well, as I'm sure we can all imagine, that's not quite possible. We can't really do that. If any of you try to think of a memory from the past, I'm sure you'll find it to be a little fuzzy. it'll be blurry. It's hard to piece these things together. And sometimes when we try to piece memories from the past, they become convoluted, contorted, and so on. What my pieces here are exploring is part of a series called Fragmented Memory, Fractured Past, is looking at difficult events that happened in my childhood and recreating them by putting them together and almost changing my experience of that memory so I can go forward in a very positive and refreshing way, as opposed to remembering something that may have been very difficult in my past. The piece that Aiden's showing right now is called Shattered at 13. And what I did was use an old candelabra that I had found that was shaped like a champagne glass, and it had broken. And I put it together with an old mirror that a girlfriend of mine had given me for my 13th birthday. And this whole piece is put on a base. The piece is called Shattered at 13. It's about a time when I had planned to visit my girlfriend who had just turned 13. And I had pitched in with a bunch of girlfriends to buy her a ring with a tiny, tiny little diamond chip. And the jeweler who sold it to me, instead of accepting cash, he insisted on a different kind of payment, which was completely inappropriate to suggest an old man do with a 13-year-old girl. I was sickened by this, and I couldn't speak about this for almost 40 years. So this piece talks about that explosion and that almost desecration of childhood, or the attempt to make that happen. So again, taking pieces or events from the past and that may have been difficult and recreating them, transforming them into something new that can help embrace a different kind of future. Can't change the past, but I can certainly create how I want to go into my future. That's what those pieces are about.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Edith. Give me one moment to return to my full screen. All right. Up next, we have Antoinet Haral. Antoinet, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thanks. Hello, I'm Antoinet Haral, located on the BC Gulf island of Gabriola, on the unceded territory of the Nanaimo people. I've made art all my life, and it wasn't until I was nearly middle-aged that I went back to school, and I have formal degrees in art and arts education from Saskatchewan, and I studied in London and Greece and Italy. I make narrative paintings based on personal memoir and autobiography, using memory and imagination to tell my stories, but I often incorporate art historical reference, which I have done in these two paintings, and there's always a bit of humor in my work. I paint mostly with oil on canvas, but also make a lot of drawings in a variety of media and collage. A completely different strand of my work, not shown here, is through close observational botanical paintings and drawings recording local flora and fauna. These two pieces I have in the show are typical of my narrative work, how I recreate and rearrange personal memoir and stories within an art historical framework and style. So the one on the left is based on a Matisse painting called L'été dans le jardin, which I saw the real painting in an exhibition in Paris, and I bought a postcard which has sat in my pinned up in my studio for a few years, and I just took that and took parts of it and changed it and included a memory of a family garden where no one was allowed to pick the figs, and they just, I don't know, they just went bad. And then I painted it within the style of Matisse. And the other one is called Ice Cream, which is based on my grandmother and her sister, who after the war got fridges for the first time and made wonderful ice cream. And I've included just a reference to a Vermeer painting, which is Pouring Milk, a Milkmaid it's called. And it helped me to organize the composition to make the painting. Thank you.
Thanks, Antoinette. All right, up next we have Tanya Kagan.
Hi there. My name is Tanya Kagan. I'm a multidisciplinary designer and artist. I graduated from OCAD University in 2006. My practice is currently focused on drawing and painting, but I do lots of other different things. I'm mostly inspired by nature, philosophy, humor, and life in general, combined with a deep curiosity about our place in the cosmos. I currently live in Nova Scotia, Canada, with my partner and 3 cats, where I work from my home studio, making art and also running an art and design business called The Oak and Chickadee, which you can find on Instagram at The Oak and Chickadee, or my website, oakandchickadee.com. The first piece here is called Shared Dreams. It's inspired by colliding galaxies. I drew it in 2013. It abstractly depicts a beautiful relationship, any relationship really. It could be from the very macro of galaxies all the way down to the subatomic level, or it could represent a human relationship where where the sum is greater than the individuals on their own and they come together to create something beautiful. That's all for that one. The other one is called Nothing But Flowers. This one is inspired by a Talking Heads song, also called Nothing But Flowers, if anyone knows it. It's a satirical song about nature reclaiming the built environment, and that's why I've chosen a round composition to depict the earth. I want viewers to be captivated by the beauty and complexity of flowers and life. I made this piece this summer using Copic art markers and technical pens on Fabriano paper so that I could achieve the level of depth and detail that I was after. And this one is, the original is 13 by 13, and it took me 35 hours to complete it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya. Up next, we have Cindy Duclos. Duclos? Forgive me if I've mispronounced your name, Cindy.
Hi. Yeah, you pronounce it well. And the first time, it's Cindy Duclos. And I am located in Moncton, New Brunswick. I work as a photographer, and what I like to do is share photos of nature. And in the past few years, I've been showing photos or putting photos in exhibitions that are of walks in nature, just in our local parks in our cities. And mainly it's so noisy. I find the world is we're busy. Sometimes we don't take the time to go out and just clear our minds, and this can inspire people to go out and just take a walk in nature. And sometimes if we take a moment, we can see all the beauty that surrounds us, and it can be from like birds, animals, leaves, trees, all season. So this is what I typically choose to share with people when it comes to my photographic arts. And I think that if you want to see more of different seasons, I do have it onto my Imprimo page, and that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. This is a good moment to note that everybody who is in this exhibition, their Imprimo page is linked if you click into the further details of the piece once we have a chance to explore on our own time. So up next, we have Shelley Pearson.
Hello. I hope everybody can hear me fine.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. I'm on a board computer, so I'm not sure if everything's working. So yeah, I'm Shelley Pearson. I'm a Calgary-based artist working primarily in acrylic and watercolor paint. I have a BFA from the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design and a master's degree in industrial design from the University of Calgary. For most of my artistic career, I was focused on things or objects and in depicting them in a realistic manner. But in 2020, I began to dream of paintings I painted in the dream. And these dreamt paintings were most often abstract, some having realist or surreal elements or objects. I received a grant from Calgary Arts Development Authority to pursue this major change in my artistic direction. And from this grew the Land and Sky series of the two of the paintings that you're seeing here. The first Land and Sky painting I made was from a dreamt painting. I knew it had meaning for me beyond just this visual. The palette of earth colors suggested landscape, but I couldn't put it all together until I saw a complex layering of Chinook clouds at sunset when I was walking my dog. And then it all made sense. I'm certain my experience as a mountain fire lookout, where in order to do my job, I watched weather systems and became intimate with the subtleties of the landscape, I think it helped to create this abstract vision that became a painting. The two paintings from this series that I'm showing today, Land and Sky 3, which is the larger of the two, and From the Sky Down 2, are explorations in structure and color that are influenced by these memory photos I have of geology, landscape, and the skies.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Shelley. Turning a corner here. Next, we have France Benoit.
Yes. Hi, thank you, Hayden. I'm France Benoit. I'm from Mirabel, Quebec, and I'm a self-taught mixed media artist. I'm working primarily with encaustic. Encaustic is a mix of beeswax, tree sap, and pigments that I apply hot on my panel. Then I basically fuse it with a heat torch, or most often time, and or other instrument that I use. The series I'm currently working on is called The Imperfect Wheel of Life, because it's only our perception that determines whether something is perfect or not. We often have a hard time accepting that things don't turn out exactly the way we want them to. So how can we free ourselves from a perfectionist mentality? In this body of work, I often start with a stone, and this stone will often set the mood of the piece, and it can be serene, joyful, or sometimes just in your face. And I mostly work intuitively, especially with this series. I also recycle material in my workshop. This series was a work on letting go, and by limiting my actions, my color palette, and letting go of the imperfection that I perceive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, France. All right. So here we have some photos from Christian Rittermeyer. Christian, are you with us? All right, I don't know that Christian is with us today, so we will circle back to these later. Here we have a couple of pieces by Indu Vara. I'll have to pass the mic to Indu.
Hello, Aidan. Not sure if you can see me. I'm Indu Vara, a multidisciplinary artist based in Sackville, New Brunswick. I'm in my studio. I create ceramic sculptures and I do paintings and printmaking. I'm originally from India and I have lived here in this area for over 50 years. After 37 years of teaching career, I enrolled myself at the University of Moncton and graduated with a visual arts degree in 2016. I recently did a public art installation about the history of Sackville. I did image transfer on ceramic tiles. Here's an example. This piece is at the town hall. It's a public art installation. If you go to my site, induvarma.com, you'll be able to see it and do a virtual tour. My paintings are mostly mixed media paintings. I love texture and I like to collage elements. And it's a mix of figurative and abstract elements. The two pieces that are part of this exhibition, Call of the Mountains and Possibilities, they were painted during the pandemic. The pandemic was a time when we were all losing faith, people were losing jobs, and we were feeling depressed and hopeless. We couldn't travel, we couldn't connect with our family. So these two pieces were painted kind of in a nostalgic sense, but also in a sense to give hope and to create some sense of positive feeling that this too will be over. I'd be grateful if you can follow me on my website, induvarma.com, or on Instagram, varma@varma.induart, and Facebook. And I hope that my pieces inspire you and uplift you. That is my goal as an artist.
Thanks, Indu. Noting as well, as of about 2 weeks ago, you can follow Indu on Imprimo as well. Find her Imprimo page linked to these paintings, hit that follow button, and you'll receive an update every time Indu posts a future exhibition or a new piece of art to her Imprimo profile. And that goes for everybody participating here today. Jumping right along, we have some beautiful pieces by Candace Grant. Candace, the floor is yours.
Hi, I just want to thank you and Lisa for hosting this exhibit. I'm Candace Grant. I'm an abstract artist from Surrey, BC. I originally went to school for graphic design and I graduated with that, but I found that painting was more, allowed me to be more self-expressive. So as a self-taught artist, I'm an intuitive painter and I use color to convey my emotions, whether it's sadness or anxiety. I've suffered from anxiety since I was younger, so I use colors to express, my feelings. I paint mostly with acrylic, and I use bold colors to symbolize the freedom from fear and shame that, sometimes you experience in life. I want others to experience the same joy that I have when I create my pieces. And the springtime magic that's on the left is a dance of vibrant colors, the pinks and the blues and the yellows. Each brushstroke represents the joy of springtime blooms and nature's awakening. And finding the moments. As an intuitive painter, I use the vivid blues and yellows to celebrate the spontaneity and the beauty found in the chaos. And my art, you can find it on Instagram at Candace Grant _art. Thank you so much.
If anyone does feel like dropping their Instagram handles into the Zoom chat, I'm sure you would gain some new followers from doing that today. I will certainly find you and hit follow if I haven't already. All right. Up next here, we have Michelle LaRose.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle LaRose, and I currently live and work in Kingston, Ontario. I'm an abstract painter, and I'm driven by the challenge of making images without the safety net of realism. I'm currently working with very defined shapes because I find it fascinating to find that perfect line, curve, shape, or color. Ultimately, I think I want to give people hope in the same way that a beautiful piece of music gives you hope in a world with much turmoil. Typically, I work with a lot of intense colors, like the first piece in the show and the one behind me. The longer I paint, the more I'm drawn to odd color combinations like these, which I see as challenges to make work together. The second piece is from my current series, Shades of Gray. In recent years, I've become very concerned about the polarization of debate in the world and now in Canada. People seem to view things in black and white terms, whether in politics, education, healthcare, or personal interactions. I've never thought things are that simple. With this series, I hope to encourage people to focus on the wonderful shades of gray that exist between those extremes, a place where we can meet, talk, and live with one another with less strife. You can see this current series on Imprimo. I'm still building up the series. I encourage you to follow me there and be informed when new work is added. You can also visit my website, michellerose.ca, or follow me on Instagram at michelleroseart. Just remember that there's only one L in Michelle. I'll be having a large retrospective exhibition in February and March of 2024 in Whitby, Ontario. If you'd like to be kept up to date on it, just send me a message through my website or on Imprimo, and I'll add you to my mailing list. Thanks again for this show, and I hope you're all enjoying it.
Thanks so much, Michelle. It's fun. You'll all find out when you take some time to explore this exhibition on your own, but it's like I'm playing a video game in front of all of you in real time, and I was never terribly good at video games. So up next, we have Susan Nelson.
Hi, thanks, Aidan. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I'm just pulling this up here, sorry. Hi, my name is Susan Burnham Nielsen from Kelowna, British Columbia. I'm a classically trained oil painter and also an art education specialist. I grew up as a city kid who longed to live in the country and loved the outdoors. Now I live at the fence line of a conservation area, fascinated with the forest next door. Whether I draw plants, people, or animals, I think of them as portraits. I need to meet them in person, so I spend a lot of time in the woods. Art helps me to explore and to share interests in nature and issues related to conservation. The more I learn, the more I care. The common thread in all of my work starts with interests in living, growing things and earthy natural materials. Direct life paintings can happen in a single session, but more complex compositions could take several weeks, beginning with sketches, then building layer by layer. This week, I have several pieces on the go, but most exciting to me are some plans for a new series of larger symbolic abstracts on the theme of kinship. Anyone who would like to connect is welcome to contact me through susannielsen.ca, that's E before I, or on Imprimo. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Just give you a little close-up of the end of the season here. It's a little bit smaller than the other.
That one was a quick painting done this fall on the last day before the big freeze when I was cutting down all the flowers to take out the tubers. And the other piece was for a provincial call about fences and the borderline between urban and wild. It also was connected to the park right behind me and some issues about closing the gates and firing the caretaker. And so there were a number of motivations behind this piece.
Thank you for that, Susan. Couple of pieces, beautiful works from Natalie Maklitsov. Natalie, are you with us? Natalie going once, going twice. All right, I don't want to speak on Natalie's behalf, So we will come back. Hopefully Natalie joins us in a little bit. If we don't get to hear from her, I'll simply read a passage from her Imprimo profile. Up next, we have Shelley Freeman.
Okay. Can you hear me? Whoops.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shelley Freeman, and I'm a visual artist living in Montreal, Quebec. My practice is nature-based. For many years, I've focused on interpreting the empty spaces found underground, such as in tunnels, abandoned mines, rock formations, and caves. I draw and paint in oils using photos that I've taken during hikes and caving explorations in Quebec, Ontario, Nova Scotia, BC, New York State, as well as Vietnam, Japan, France, Wales, New Zealand, and Australia. Lately, I've been researching the dimension of depth from all different perspectives, and my recent paintings depict aquatic vegetation looking upwards from the viewpoint of the bottom of Lake Kashagawiggamog in Ontario. Besides the dimension of depth, I'm also concerned with illusion, ambiguity of scale, the juxtaposition of light and dark masses, and the combination of figurative and abstract elements in the same composition. So if you're interested in seeing more, please visit my website at shelleyfreeman.ca or my profile on Imprimo. About the two paintings, this one is called A Crevice, the tall one. And that was a view from a bridge spanning the Chute de Montmorency in Quebec City, looking into a huge crevice in the ice. The other painting is one of a series of 12 paintings looking up from the bottom of Lake Kashagawiggamog. So that's it. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Shelley. I am going to jump over to Serge, and as a sculptor, once again, I'm going to connect with Serge outside of this meeting and take you over to his Imprimo profile to show some properly scaled images of these pieces. Serge, the floor is yours.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so my name is Serge Richard. Sometimes I go Serge G. Richard, Serge V. Richard. Anyway, same guys, same place. I'm from New Brunswick, Canada, of course, from a small town, St. Louis de Kent. And I mostly work metal, wood, in glass. I paint and do some drawings. This one in particular is called Jeu d'enfant, and sometimes I have it here in front of me, but sometimes in my studio I do a lot of woodwork and some offcuts. I like to play around, and it reminds me of when I was younger. We used to build things and play around with them all day long. But at the same time, this particular piece reminded me of a canon of war, of course. And as child play becomes too real, I guess I'm kind of wondering, can humanity heal its addiction to war, where, yeah, that kind of thing. This one, La Connivence, is a little bit of a reflection on sometimes we have bad intention. We want to, you see the nails kind of thing. I was thinking of perhaps like a porcupine, when we get angry, and that space at the bottom, the whole part where perhaps consciously or unconsciously there's that hollow space in there. So if you go to the next image, perhaps Aiden, you'll see that kind of thing. But anyway, that's the gist of it. Yeah, so these two pieces are, as you can see, wood and metal. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Serge.
You're welcome.
Once again, re-enter our full screen. And here we have Lynn Saint-Ange. I fear I've probably mispronounced your surname, Lynn, but the floor is yours.
You did a great job.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lynn Saint-Ange, and I live and work in Riverview, in Brunswick. And I've been a painter for what seems like a very long time now, over 40 years. And through that time, my work has gradually become more abstract. For the past decade or so, my painting has become what I like to call a dive into the unknown. My approach has been much more open. Although I start with an idea, an emotion, a lot happens as I work and respond to the paint itself, and more comes to the surface. So through this process, the subject can develop complexities which I wasn't thinking of or consciously aware of at the outset. And this is part of the mystery of painting, which really needs to be present for me to give life to the work. Beauty and mystery of nature, of color and of light, how we create and process memories, and the moments and in between times that make up our days are some of the main anchors of my work. Thank you very much to Imprimo, Aidan, and Lisa. It's been great to be here with you today.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Just giving a quick zoom in for everybody to get a closer look at these beautiful pieces. And I will continue walking through. Here we have Kelly Harper Morehouse. Kelly going once. Kelly going twice. All right.
Hi, Aidan.
Hey.
Kelly said that they're having a storm in Nova Scotia, so she might lose power and she might not be able to join.
Oh.
She wanted to say hello to everyone and express her thanks to you and Lisa.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Indu. Yeah, so unfortunately, I guess Kelly might not be able to join us. Hopefully she's keeping safe in the storm. We have a couple beautiful paintings of hers here, Luminous and the Sages, from a really remarkable series you can see the rest of on Imprimo. I'll continue moving along. Hopefully Margaret Nicholson is with us as well. I believe she is in Nova Scotia as well, so she might be suffering the same ill effects of the weather. If she is with us, I will pass the mic over to Margaret. If not, I will continue moving along. All right, well, we have a couple of her beautiful pieces here. Once again, you can take a closer look once I pass the link out to everybody, and you can check out more from Margaret on her Imprimo page. Along here, we have some pieces from Donna Stockdale. Donna, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be with you here today. I live at L'Orange in northern Saskatchewan and create two-dimensional and three-dimensional textile artworks in my home-based studio. My work is influenced by all that grows here in the boreal forest and by the lakes, rivers, muskegs, and ancient rock that is everywhere I look. I'm also interested in the relationship between humans and our natural environment. Felt making, which is an ancient craft of entangling wool fibers through water, soap, and friction, along with stitching, printing, and dyeing natural fibers and fabrics, are my main techniques. The piece on the wall is called Ice Walkers. It was one of my first felted pieces created in 2012 and for a Fiber Art Network group exhibition. I was inspired by a scene from my kitchen window of figures trekking along the snowmobile tracks on the wide open lake one brisk winter day, apparently oblivious to the still fluid water a few feet under their boots. I was reminded of traditional means of transportation that followed Northern Canada's waterways. In our 6-month-long winters, the frozen and snow-covered lake still provides an easy route for vehicles, dog teams, and people on foot to travel across country. The next piece, which is a 3-dimensional sculpture sitting on a plinth there, is called Boreal Diversity. It invites the viewer to look closely at the forest floor, at the detail and variety of life that grows there, life that fills me with awe and wonder. This piece evolved over a few years as I experimented with making real and imagined forms of lichen, moss, fallen twigs, and leaves. This piece received an award for innovation in craft for the Saskatchewan Craft Council's biennial touring exhibition, Dimensions, in 2021. At the end of the tour, it was purchased by Sask Arts for their permanent collection. And you can follow me at Donna Stockdale Art on Instagram. So thanks so much for the opportunity to participate in this exhibition.
Thanks so much, Donna. Okay. A few folks remaining here. Up here, I have some pieces from Sarah Lamond.
Hi there, how are you? I'm Sarah Lamond. I live in a small village on Cape Breton Island on the Atlantic coast of Canada. I'm a multidisciplinary visual artist inspired by nature and the environment around me. I'm very fortunate to have a studio located next to my home, and as I work, I can look out onto a small harbor and the salt marsh, and that foggy wild marsh has inspired several pieces of art since I moved here 2 years ago. I've always been fascinated that a painting can evoke strong emotions with just color and texture without the need for any recognizable object, and that's my main area of interest. Most of my paintings are non-representational abstracts, but lately I've been including rough sketches as accents. However, the work's not about those things, the birds and the fish and the plants. It's about the feelings they inspire. My 2 paintings in this exhibition are named Patience and Grace and are an ode to the great blue herons that come here each spring to nest. But they're about more than that. They're about the serenity that these birds inspire in me. I watch them winding slowly along the shoreline, just waiting for a meal to appear. When they fly over the still water, their reflections are amazing, or sometimes they're like ghosts flying through the fog. It's very foggy around the salt marsh. They're an endless source of inspiration and wonder for me, and I hope that these paintings speak serenity to you. And if you'd like to follow, I'm on Imprimo, of course, Driftwood Gallery Art on Instagram, and my website is driftwoodgallery.art. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, we have Wendy A. Thomas next.
Just a minute. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So my name is Wendy Thomas, as Aidan just pointed out, and I'm in Montreal, Quebec. I have a BA in Fine Arts from York University in Toronto, a less relevant MA, and many years of classes at the Visual Arts Centre in Westmount, Quebec. My work's been exhibited in a solo show and in numerous group shows, including 2 duo exhibitions this spring, one with fellow artist Shelley Freeman. In my semi-abstract acrylic paintings, I explore scale and perception. For years, I photographed my local urban environment, not buildings, but things such as scratches and dents and repairs on concrete support walls, and gravel casting late afternoon shadows on sidewalks. These images just lead me to worlds with multiple interpretations and bear witness to unknown actions or interventions. I like to keep the compositions I see, but I create new ways of presenting them using many layers of color and much texture. I find the potential beauty of neglected elements around us serves as kind of a metaphor for the way we see the world, and my paintings address first impressions and how they can hinder the learning of complex and rich stories. These two paintings are part of some series that I've done, and you can see more of my work either on imprimo.ca or at wendythomas.ca. Not the Wendy Thomas of Wendy's, I just want to point out. And thank you so much to Imprimo and for your interest.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
You're welcome.
All right, here we have Barbara Safran de Niverville.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Well, hello, I'm Barbara Safran de Niverville, a landscape and nature painter in the town of Riverview, New Brunswick. I've been an artist for over 40 years with art school training at the undergraduate and graduate levels. I use photography, art history, and experimentation to develop each collection. My work focuses on the calming and hopeful feelings I experience while immersed in nature, in vacant lots and hidden corners of the outdoors, where wild growth overcomes human activity. A reaction to the intergenerational trauma of the Holocaust, the vitality of the natural world has always been my best antidote to the fear and grief that overshadowed my family through 3 generations. Worked in pastel and acrylic on wood, meadow daisies and snowfall warning were both inspired by my local neighborhood. I wanted to capture the serenity of the first snowflakes of winter drifting down in snowfall warning. I challenged myself also to create a new viewpoint of the familiar daisy in meadow daisies, focusing on wildflowers in an abandoned field. My solo show, Vanitas par the Sea, Vanitas par la Mer, will open at the Capitol Theatre Gallery in Moncton, New Brunswick on January 10th. I think that everyone should have a piece of nature to enjoy in their home or office. And just to add, si vous préférez me communiquer en français, je suis bilingue et j'écris aussi en français. And you can follow me on Imprimo, that's my major website. And I also have a minor one at saffronstudios.com. So thank you very much for this show.
Thank you so much, Barbara. All right, up next we have Ronda Young. Ronda, are you with us?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Thank you for this, Aidan. This is really quite incredible. My name is Ronda Young. I live in Edmonton. I observe plants around me and record their vitality through line, color, and composition. I feel an energy from plants and try to convey that energy. So I do plant portraits, and I seek to record the unique life force of each plant. I like repeatedly drawing cherries and crabapple blossoms, peonies, roses and rose hips, sweet peas, and nasturtiums. I did a lot of blind contour drawing in classes when I was a child at the Edmonton Art Gallery, now the Art Gallery of Alberta. And so all the work that I do is, the line work is in ink with a fountain pen from life. And then I add watercolor, and I like to use metallic and shimmer watercolor to convey the energy of the plants. These 2 works are magnolia branches that I purchased from a florist. And they're over the course of 2 days, March 25th and March 26th. So I spent one afternoon, March 25th, doing the first drawing, ink and watercolor, and then the next day, March 26th. And so there's a little bit of a change between the two. Magnolias are a common subject in floral art, but I find that they're often idealized. I wanted to capture the reality of the flower, particularly as it changed over time. So, I think ultimately my work is about imperfection. I don't do things over. It ends up how it ends up. And the botanical subject is imperfect as well. And so, yeah, that's it. Thank you for this opportunity. I'll end now.
Randa. Okay. Now I have Raisha Felix. Raisha, all yours.
Hi, Aiden. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Risha Felix, and I am a Toronto-based visual artist, originally from the Caribbean island of Dominica. My acrylic figurative paintings feature mostly Black women with remarkable and intricately textured crowns of hair that make you pause and wonder, what is it about textured art and textured hair that makes us want to touch it? In my art, I celebrate traditionally Black hairstyles by meticulously recreating those intriguing shapes and patterns of raised curls, coils, kinks, and knots. And I actually do that by using a precision tip hot glue gun. My passion for representing Black hair through a positive lens runs deep, and I'm very curious about the various meanings that hair has held for my Afro-Caribbean and African ancestors. So the two paintings I'm exhibiting today, Golden Hour and Beaded Bob, are from the collection called Heirloom, which really explores the idea that Black hair is a valued treasure that is passed down through generations. I hope, I'm certain that you are all enjoying the beautiful art here today, and I welcome you to view the rest of the Heirloom collection on Imprimo and on my website, recreationsart.com. Thank you once again for showing up, and thank you to Aiden and Imprimo and Lisa for having me.
Thank you, Risha. And here we have a couple of pieces from Rose Williams. Rose?
Hi, everybody. My name is Rose L. Williams. You got to put the L in there when you Google me. Otherwise, you find Tennessee Williams' sister. I live in Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, and Musqueam territory here in the downtown east side of Vancouver. I'm actually from the Lower Laurentians in Quebec. I've been making and studying art for over 40 years. I'm a graduate of Emily Carr University and the Expressive Arts Therapy program at Langara College. As a result of several surgeries I had over a period of years, I had to relearn how to walk again, and I now cherish the privilege of being able to go for a walk in the forests of this beautiful region despite my disability. My artworks begin with a search for discarded or waste materials and a walk in the woods with my camera, which grounds my work in over 40 years of being a photographer and darkroom technician. So yeah, I look for discarded or waste materials. I go walking in the woods and I shoot fleeting encounters with wildlife while sustainably foraging for botanicals that contribute their chemical essence and energy into eco-prints from nature that ground my mixed media paintings. I use natural dyes and handmade dye and mushroom fungi to use as my pigments. I aim to share my experience of the dopamine glow and the flow state induced by immersion into our natural environment, which a lot of the artists have talked about. It's such a source of inspiration for everybody. Feeling trapped in my own body, the art I make in partnership with nature brings a sense of freedom and grace. I hope to share that with my viewers. Watch for my first international solo exhibition of these botanically inspired artworks to coincide with Earth Day 2024 at the Loft Gallery in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, because like Ray, I am a Caribbean Canadian. Thanks everybody for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Rose. Now, I have a moment of confession to make here. In my newness with this platform, it seems we have a rather glaring omission from Felicia Byron's work. So I would like to apologize for Felicia. I'm not sure what happened or how the work did not make it on the walls here, but I'm going to show your pieces on Imprimo, and please rest assured by the time this link is made available to everyone, your work will be on the walls where it belongs. But let me take a few seconds to share the pieces that you did submit and pass the floor to you to tell us all about them.
Thanks so much, Aiden, and no worries. Technical difficulties happen. Thank you so much, Aiden, Imprimo, and Lisa for having me. My name is Felicia Byron. I am, my pronouns are she, her. I am a Canadian Caribbean multidisciplinary artist and photographer living and working in Toronto. I have studied at OCAD University, and I hold a certificate of fine art and commercial portraiture from Speos, hi Thomas, Speos International Photography School. As a Black woman and neurodivergent artist living with cerebral palsy, I explore themes of identity and community as it relates to the African diasporic and disabled experience. My work often employs series as a format to evoke a sense of belonging and shared experience, some of which will be added to Imprimo shortly. But I also employ a cinematic approach to creating still imagery through using light, color, and wardrobe, such as the example being, as you can see, with Untitled here, we use, or Rahasset Untitled, we use yellows as well as styling from her mother's traditional Ethiopian jewelry and scarves to create a sense of familiarity as it relates to her culture. I enjoy world building and weaving stories to evoke a feeling of familiarity. I hold membership with Gallery 44, the Center for Contemporary Photography, as well as the Power Plant and CAPIC, which is the Canadian Association of Professional Image Creators. I also serve on their board, and I will be making my solo exhibition debut at Tangled Art Plus Disabilities Vitrine Space in 2024 as part of the 2024 Contact Photography Festival. So a little bit more about these two works. So what you're looking at right now is called In Bloom. It is a diptych that explores the interplay between serenity and environmental chaos. This work is actually part of a collection of work that is part of an art initiative through the TTC, the Toronto Transit Commission, and Tangled Art Plus Disability, where they are displaying the work of 8 artists with disabilities for the month of December and January to coincide with the International Persons with Disabilities Awareness Month and Day, which was on December 3rd. So a little bit about In Bloom. In Bloom has 2 works. They both have their own names: Golden Hour, which is the first image here, and Glitch, which is the second image. The left image, Golden Hour, serves to evoke its namesake, capturing the tranquility and dawn, the tranquility of dawn and dusk with soft golden light. The right image, entitled Glitch, is a mirror of Golden Hour, distorting its serenity with chromatic aberration, symbolizing the bombardment of environmental chaos that can create emotional glitches and distortions of feeling. I like to work with symbolic imagery in my work. Within the photo collage itself, this symbolism serves to convey a message of radical self-love, self-acceptance, and cultivating a sense of inner peace amidst the outer chaos. So the subject, as you can see, is adorned with a beaded golden headdress surrounded by a halo of blooming purple and white orchids. Orchids in particular have been revered across cultures, drawing inspiration from the Aztec culture in particular, who considered them to be symbols of strength and power. White orchids signify hope and new beginnings, while purple orchids evoke notions of royalty, respect, and dignity. Lastly, the subject wears a t-shirt adorned with a photo of his child self. This symbolizes the importance of honoring and protecting our inner child, the seedling from which the flower, a fully realized and embraced sense of self, blooms. So you can see this work through this exhibition and on my Imprimo account profile, as well as throughout the city on the subway if you are in Toronto and take the TTC, and you may actually see it driving by on a Wheel-Trans bus for the next few months. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such it's very exciting and beautiful celebration of art, and it's been beautiful to see and hear from all of the other artists. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you. I think
Thanks so much, Felicia. And again, our apologies. You'll see these added probably the moment I stop sharing the screen.
No worries.
But yeah, that is your painted insight, everyone. Thank you so much to everybody for participating, for submitting your work to this, and for making this such an amazing experience.